What if the bread you eat could actually help lower your blood sugar? Most people are told to ditch carbs completely after 60, but new research says it's not about cutting bread. It's about choosing the right kind. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 breads that don't spike your blood sugar, and one that may actually improve it. Stick around because number 2 is a dense, dark bread that's helping some seniors reduce their glucose levels without giving up their favorite sandwich. After 60, our bodies process sugar differently. The insulin that once kept blood sugar in check starts to lose its grip. That's why bread, even whole wheat, can become a silent saboteur. But the truth is, not all breads are the enemy. In fact, some can support better glucose control, smoother digestion, and more energy, especially when eaten the right way. Let me show you what works, and how to make small, healing changes that won't leave you feeling deprived. 1. Sprouted grain bread. After 60, your relationship with carbs changes. You may not feel it at first, but that morning toast, it doesn't hit the same way it used to. That's because the insulin your body makes, the key that's supposed to unlock your cells, starts to wear down. And the locks, they get rusty too. So sugar stays in the bloodstream longer, floating, lingering, and quietly fueling inflammation. But what if there's a type of bread that actually works with your aging metabolism, not against it? Sprouted grain bread isn't just a trend. It's what happens when grains are allowed to come alive, just enough to wake up their enzymes, soften their starch, and unlock their minerals. And here's what the science says. A 2012 study from the University of Guelph found that sprouted grain bread triggered a 25% lower blood sugar spike than white bread, or even multigrain. That's a big deal, because it means you can enjoy bread and still stay steady. Elaine, one of my longtime patients, learned this the hard way. She's 67, used to start every day with toast and jam, but by 10 a.m., she was shaky, tired, and foggy. So we made one change. She switched to a sprouted loaf, the kind you find in the freezer section, no preservatives. 1 slice in the morning, toasted, with mashed avocado. She emailed me 2 weeks later. No crash, no cravings, just calm. And when she checked her glucose monitor, steady as a river. If you're curious to try, keep it simple. 1 slice in the morning. Eat it with some healthy fat, like nut butter or eggs. And make sure it's truly sprouted, not just labeled whole grain, because this kind of bread isn't just food, it's a gentle partner for your metabolism. You're not giving something up. You're inviting balance back in. Have you ever tried sprouted grain bread? Type yes or not yet in the comments, and see how many others are right there with you. 2. Traditional sourdough. Not all bread is created equal, and some are wiser than they look. Let me introduce you to one that's been quietly supporting digestion, energy, and even blood sugar for over 5,000 years. Traditional sourdough. Now, I'm not talking about the fluffy white sourdough from the supermarket shelf. I mean the real kind, made from whole grain, fermented slowly with a natural starter. Because here's the beautiful part. That fermentation process, it changes everything. It breaks down the starches, reduces gluten intensity, and makes the nutrients more absorbable. But most importantly, it slows the way sugar enters your bloodstream. A 2022 meta-analysis from Frontiers in Nutrition looked at 18 studies, and the results were striking. People who ate traditional sourdough had blood sugar levels 23 to 29% lower after meals compared to those who ate industrial bread. Even 2 hours later, their glucose stayed calmer. I had a patient once, a retired chef named Luis. He missed real bread, the kind you slice into with a little resistance, the crust crackling under your knife. We found a local bakery that used organic rye and a 24-hour fermentation. Luis swapped his store-bought sandwich bread for just 2 slices of that sourdough each day. By the next month, his after-meal numbers were down. But more than that, his digestion felt lighter, his bloating gone. And he smiled when he said, "I don't feel punished anymore." That's the difference. Real food doesn't punish, it nourishes. If you want to give sourdough a try, start simple. Look for the words naturally fermented and whole grain. The crust should be firm. The flavor, a little tangy. And if it comes from a bakery, even better. Pair it with some protein, maybe avocado and egg, or smoked salmon and olive oil. And don't be surprised if your stomach says, "Thank you." Have you ever tried real sourdough, the kind with a bit of tang and a lot of heart? If not, this might be your moment. 3. Pumpernickel Cheshire dark rye. Some breads feel light and fluffy, but leave your blood sugar soaring. Others, they feel dense, rich, like they've got weight to them. And that weight can actually be a good thing. Let's talk about pumpernickel, a traditional dark rye bread that doesn't rush anything. You can feel it when you hold a slice. It's heavier, chewier, more grounded, and that's exactly how it works in your body. Unlike most breads made with refined flour, pumpernickel uses whole rye kernels, often stone ground and baked slowly at low heat. This slow, old-world method gives it an incredibly low glycemic impact, meaning it releases sugar into your bloodstream gently over time. In a 2013 study published in Diabetes Care, researchers found that patients who ate pumpernickel bread had significantly lower glucose and insulin peaks than those who ate white or even whole grain breads. What does that mean for you? More stable energy, less of that post-meal fog, and fewer roller coaster cravings 2 hours later. Frank, a 70-year-old former railroad worker I see in the clinic, used to crash hard after lunch. His go-to was a turkey sandwich on whole wheat, which sounded healthy, until his glucose started spiking like clockwork. We made one change, same sandwich, same fillings. But we swapped the bread for 2 thin slices of authentic German-style pumpernickel, the kind that comes vacuum-packed and smells a little nutty when you open it. Within 2 weeks, his energy lasted longer, no nap needed, and when he came in for labs, his post-lunch glucose was 20 points lower than the month before. He just grinned and said, "Didn't even miss the old stuff." That's the beauty of pumpernickel. It doesn't just slow your sugar spike, it supports your rhythm. So if you're curious to try it, start with 1 or 2 thin slices. Enjoy it with almond butter, goat cheese, or even just a slice of tomato and a drizzle of olive oil. It's strong, earthy, and reliable, like a quiet friend that holds you steady through the afternoon. Let me ask you, have you ever tried pumpernickel? Or are you like Frank, ready to trade up, but not sure where to start? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you make your lunch work for you. 4. Whole grain. Rye. Your pancreas does more work than you probably give it credit for. Every time you eat, it releases insulin, your body's natural sugar chaperone, but after 60, that system starts to slow down. The cells in your pancreas, called beta cells, lose some of their spark. They don't respond as well to food, and that can leave sugar hanging around in your blood longer than it should. But here's the good news. Some foods can gently support your pancreas. Not overstimulate it, not stress it, just help it work more efficiently. And one of the best? Whole grain rye bread. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, postmenopausal women who ate rye bread had a 9.9% stronger insulin response than those who ate wheat bread, even when the meals had the same number of calories. That's important. It means rye may actually help your pancreas perform better, especially when paired with protein. Now, let me tell you about Linda. She's 72, lives with her daughter, and helps care for her grandkids. She'd been told to watch her sugar, but didn't know where to start. She loved sandwiches, loved breakfast toast, and felt stuck. We didn't take bread away. We just found a better partner for her metabolism. 100% whole grain rye. Not the fluffy rye-flavored stuff at the deli. I'm talking about the kind with visible seeds, a dark crust, and that earthy, almost nutty smell when you slice it. She started small, one slice at lunch with tuna salad. By her next checkup, her insulin levels were steadier, and more than that, she felt confident again. She was making food decisions that worked with her body. That's what whole rye can do. It's not flashy, but it's steady. Like a supportive coach, helping your aging pancreas show up and do its job without burning out. If you're picking up a loaf this week, look for 100% rye or whole grain rye on the label. Seeded varieties are even better. They feed your gut bacteria and help slow digestion naturally. And when you eat it, pause. Feel how your body responds. Because healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and starts with something as simple as your next slice. Have you ever noticed how your body feels different after certain breads? Slower, calmer, more grounded? It might not be a coincidence. 5. Flaxseed-enriched bread. Some breads fill you up, others fill in the gaps. Let's talk about flaxseed-enriched bread, a quiet powerhouse hiding in the bakery aisle. Now, most people think of flax as something you sprinkle on cereal or stir into a smoothie. But when it's baked directly into whole grain bread, something remarkable happens. You're not just getting fiber. You're getting a blend of healthy fats, plant lignins, and slow-digesting carbohydrates, all of which work together to reduce blood sugar spikes, support your heart, and even cool inflammation. In a recent 2025 study published in Revista de Nutrition, participants who ate flaxseed bread saw their peak blood glucose drop by 13.5 milligrams per deciliter, and the bread's glycemic index fell from 71 to just under 58. That's a shift from high to moderate, just by changing the ingredients. And the best part, you don't have to eat a lot. Elaine, the same patient I mentioned earlier, didn't stop at sprouted bread. She alternated it with a flaxseed loaf a few times a week. One slice in the morning, toasted, with almond butter or soft goat cheese. She said it felt grounding, not heavy, not sluggish, just even. And that's exactly how flax works. It's rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that supports vascular health and may even reduce insulin resistance. It also contains soluble fiber, which slows digestion and keeps you fuller longer. So if you're shopping, check the label. Look for bread that contains at least 10% ground flaxseed. Ground is key. Your body absorbs it far better than whole seeds. Eat it in the morning when insulin sensitivity is stronger, and notice how your energy holds steady through to lunch, without the crash. Because the right bread doesn't just satisfy your hunger, it supports your balance, your clarity, your rhythm. And that's what food should do, especially after 60. Have you tried flaxseed bread before, or is it something new for you? If you've got a favorite way to enjoy it, share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else who's just getting started. After 60, food starts to feel different. What once gave us energy now leaves us foggy. What once felt comforting now feels confusing. But here's the truth I've learned after working with thousands of seniors. You don't have to give up the foods you love. You just have to find the forms that love you back. Bread can be one of them. Not the kind that spikes your sugar, drains your energy, or leaves you chasing a nap. But the kind that works with your metabolism, not against it. Sprouted, fermented, dense, seedy, grounded. These aren't just ingredients, they're invitations. To choose differently, to eat in rhythm with your body, to feel steady again. So, take a breath. Then take a look at what's on your plate. Which one of these breads could be your next gentle upgrade? Not a punishment, just a pause, a shift, a step towards steadiness. If this video gave you even one idea you can use, I invite you to subscribe. Because this is the kind of space where healing doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you've already found a bread that works well for your blood sugar, tell us. Someone reading the comments might be one decision away from stability. Let's keep helping each other find our rhythm, one meal at a time.